I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Laura, will you please take roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Smith,
Here.
Councilmember Lasky,
Here.
Mayor Sullivan,
Here.
Councilmember Keck,
Here.
Councilmember Grabowski,
here.
Councilmember Ruzga,
Here.
City Manager,
Here.
City Attorney, DPW Director,
Here.
Finance Director,
Here.
Community Development Director,
Here.
Police Chief,
Here.
Fire Chief, Yep, and City Engineer.
Here.
Roll call complete.
Julia's running late, but she'll be here. Public hearings, we have none. Citizen comments on agenda-related items. Any citizens with correspondence to be distributed to council should provide items to the city clerk prior to the start of the meeting or after the meeting has adjourned, limited to 5 minutes. Anybody? Consent agenda. All items marked with an asterisk are considered by the city manager to be routine matters. Prior to approval, any member of city council may have an item removed and taken up during the regular portion of the meeting. Items include approval of minutes, payroll, invoices, consideration of zoning ordinance Z25-03 to conditionally rezone 555 First Street to R1 to C2. At this time, council could take action to approve consent agenda as presented. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll
second
second the
that.
motion.
Laura, would you please take roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Lasky,
Yes.
Mayor Sullivan,
Yes.
Councilmember Keck,
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski,
Yes.
Councilmember Ruzga.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Consideration of approving a grant agreement with the Michigan Department of Natural Resources to replace the sanitary pump outstation at the city marina. The city has awarded a grant to replace the sanitary pump outstation at the city marina. The grant amount is $42,750 with a $14,250 local match. The matching funds are included in the current marina budget. At this time, council could take action to approve the Michigan Boating Pump Out Grant Program Project Agreement with the Michigan Department of Natural Resources and authorize the DPW Director Jeff McCula to execute the documents. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I just
Go ahead, sorry.
want to thank Katie. It looks like she got the ball rolling from the documentation on that, so thanks. Let her appreciate it. That's it.
Laura, would you please take roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Lasky,
Yes.
Mayor Sullivan,
Yes.
Councilmember Keck,
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski,
Yes.
Councilmember Ruzga.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Consideration of the Manistee Police Department to purchase a 5-year body-worn camera program agreement with Motorola Solutions. The City of Manistee Police Department is requesting funding for a 5-year body-worn camera project to include new body-worn cameras, 5 years of cloud storage, and data migration of current data. There is a $50,000 budgeted in the fiscal year 2026 capital improvement plan for this purchase. At this time, council could take action to approve the Manistee City Police Department to proceed with the expenditure of $40,816 to fund the remaining cost of a 5-year body-worn camera project with Motorola Solutions. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Go ahead.
Any discussion?
Is this in addition to the grant that came through the safety thing that was in the paper the other night? The casino. Yeah, the revenue sharing
Yeah,
grant.
so the total cost for this program is right around $62,000. And so we were able to secure funding to the revenue sharing board to match those funds, or to at least cover the upfront cost, which is roughly a third of the whole program. So we were able to find some grant funds to alleviate some of the burden of cost. And the remaining is the amount you see there, which is actually under the amount we budgeted.
So that does not include that grant. So this is in, okay, perfect.
Any other questions?
On the first page of the document itself, the quote for Motorola, there's a line 5, it's page 1, and it says essential service with ACC, DMG, and advanced. I guess I just don't know what it is, so if you could tell me.
Could you point me, Councilmember, again, where that's at?
The first line of the first page of the documentation we received regarding that. It kind of starts breaking down the pieces of it.
The number 1AS-BWC, we're talking about the overall quote summary.
The overall quote summary, line 5. Yeah, right there. Is that like a warranty thing?
Which one is you pointing to?
Line 5, essential service with,
It's the accidental damage line.
is that what that is?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Whatever it is, it's including the pricing.
Yeah, it's included. Well, I just want to know
Excellent.
what we're buying.
What we're including.
Yeah,
Accidental damage.
okay. So, so with 8 cameras, if one's broken, how does that work?
It's under a warranty, the 5-year warranty we're discussing now.
Yeah.
We contact them, we send it, and they send us a bill.
So will one of our officers be cameraless, possibly?
No, just understand, that's a great question. This doesn't cover so that every single police officer having their own assignment. The
Yeah.
cost is too great. So I got with our patrol sergeant, said, what is the amount of cameras that we can function with? And the number he came up with was 8.
Okay.
So that if we have 1 or 2 damage that are waiting to return, we still have a sufficient amount that our officers can be equipped to buy.
Because the turnaround time could have been a while, according.
And
Okay,
unfortunately, sometimes it is.
okay. And then 5 years, is that, seems kind of long. I don't know how old our cameras are now. Is there any worry of obsolescence or anything? I think we're going to be good.
That's a really good question. So this project came about right around the time of the budget process this past spring. And so Motorola advised us that they were no longer supporting our current line of
Yes, I
cameras.
remember
And
that.
they were no longer going to support, as of December, the system in which we use to store videos, which is concerning. And so they offer a 5-year plan. Not speaking for Motorola, that's pretty typical, maybe to help finance. So there is an option that instead of paying this money up front,
Okay.
we can pay X amount each year. I'm very leery about obligating future funds. We don't know what next year's budget is and 3 years' budget, so that's why we develop strategies with revenue sharing and through the budget process to secure that funding up front. Now that gives us 5 years to develop a strategy of how are we gonna fund this year 6, 7, and 8. I'm very leery about obligating future funds.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Good.
Any other questions? Julia, we're on item B in new business. Okay, Laura, would you please take roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Lasky,
Yes.
Mayor Sullivan,
Yes.
Councilmember Keck,
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski,
Yes,
Councilmember Ruzga,
Yes.
Councilmember Raditz.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Consideration of awarding a bid for HVAC improvement at the Clean Water Recovery Facility. The Clean Water Recovery Facility experienced an HVAC failure earlier this year. Equipment upgrades have been designed and publicly bid. 2 bids were received as follows. Tweet Garrett Mechanical, 137.5, Hearst Mechanical, 141.5, engineer's estimate range 135 to 175. At this time, council could take action to approve the low bid in the amount of 137.5 submitted by Tweet Garrett Mechanical, Inc., and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the documents. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on this?
do we have any knowledge, Bill, of this company that we're choosing?
I believe they came in and visited the site. I'll let Mr. McCullough talk a little more about that.
So I actually don't have knowledge of this company, but this company purchased Temperature Controls Incorporated out of Traverse City, and so they've done work for us in the past. They assisted the engineers in kind of diagnosing what was happening here, and so very comfortable with
Okay.
their staff and their history.
Okay, thank you.
I like that you had penalties built in, the timelines, and then kind of warranty comes with the install and the equipment.
I'm not sure.
1 year maybe for the install and
Probably a year on the install, and then the equipment I'm sure has a.
different pieces or different amounts. Okay, yeah, you'll have it someplace.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else?
We can look into that and get back with council.
Laura, would you please take roll?
Councilmember Raditz,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Lasky,
Yes.
Mayor Sullivan, Councilmember Keck,
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski,
Yes,
Councilmember Ruzga.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. CP10, discussion and consideration of adding conflict of interest disclosure to the council procedure order of business. At the organizational meeting on November 18th, 2025, individual council members proposed several revisions to the CP10. City staff and the city attorney have reviewed these suggestions. Aside from adding a conflict of interest disclosure to the city council procedure order of business, additional direction from the majority of council is needed to take action or leave the certain aspects of CP10 unchanged. At this time, council could take action to add a conflict of interest disclosure statement to the council procedure order of the business in CP10. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Laura, would you please take roll?
Councilmember Raddatz,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Lasky,
Yes.
Mayor Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Keck,
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski,
Yes.
Councilmember Rozga.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Consideration of a resolution approving the draft master plan for distribution and asserting council's right to adopt such master plan. The city began the process of updating the master plan in February 2024 with a Michigan State Housing Development Authority Housing Readiness Incentive Grant. The Planning Commission approved the draft at their November 6, 2025 meeting. The next step in the adoption process is for council to pass a resolution approving the draft and asserting their right to adopt. The resolution moves the draft master plan to the formal public view period. At this time, council could take action to pass a resolution approving the draft master plan for distribution and asserting the council's right to adopt such master plan. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
I'm sorry, I missed that. Who made that motion?
Ms. Lasky and Wes,
Wes.
Thank you.
second.
Okay, well, I feel a little bad. Everything's going really fast. I'm going to slow it down. But I wanted to give just a bit of an overview of what the updated master plan actually is. So sort of a comparison to the 2016 plan, and then also an update on where we're at with edits and sort of how these next steps are going to go. Provide some clarity there. I'm sorry, which button do I press?
Can you speak up just a bit?
Yes, sorry.
It's either up or down, I think.
I think it's down is
Down?
forward.
Oh, that would be why. Okay, so starting with just, sort of what's the purpose of the master plan and why this is, an important document for us to update. The Michigan Planning Enabling Act requires the update or overlooking of a master plan every 5 years. So a city should determine whether a complete update is necessary or, if this master plan is set to continue. Purpose of a master plan, it's going to create just a unified vision for the community. It guides community development, aids in everyday decision-making, specifically as it relates to zoning and development, and then it's going to outline future land use for the community. Overall, the plan serves as an educational tool for citizens and city staff alike as to where they see the community headed and what's sort of feasible in that plan. Overview of the 2016 plan. So back in 2014, the city joined the Lakes to Land Regional Initiative, which was an opportunity to update the existing 2002 master plan. It brought together communities along Lake Michigan's shoreline, mostly in Manistee and Benzie counties. Through this, the city created sort of a base to the master plan update, and then we contracted with the county planning department to complete that master plan. Between 2014 and 2016, this was written out and adopted formally in August of 2016. Some of the primary goals of this plan included supporting the downtown, promoting economic development, expanding housing options, and preserving historical charm. Oh my goodness, sorry. Down button. Okay. Looking at the timeline, so this is sort of what we have accomplished so far. Back in February, as was mentioned in sort of the memo, the city received a $33,000 grant from MISHDA to update our master plan. Then in March, we created an RFP to contract with a professional planning service to lead the update. That sort of lasted until June when all of the consultants that had submitted their proposals, those of which that came to the Planning Commission, gave a verbal proposal, and then the Planning Commission voted to elect William & Works to lead the update. That was back in June. Then, this past month in November, the Planning Commission received a copy of the draft that you received and made the motion to send it forward to council for review. Looking at where we are now and what the next few months could potentially look like, you guys did receive a copy of that draft that Planning Commission approved. Looking at it today, this would, if you made the motion to send it forward, go into the 63-day public review period. What we would do, we would send out this draft plan with any edits to neighboring townships and city partners, and then we would take in their feedback as well. After 63 days, potentially this would be the end of February if we did get it going. Through the end of this week, we would schedule a public hearing at the March Planning Commission meetings. We would send notices out for that, and that would bring us to the March Planning Commission meeting. They would review the final draft, and then it would go back to City Council, potentially end of March or early April. Okay, going into an overview of what the update actually is, what this new plan looks like. A couple of things I chose to highlight were the community engagement process, updated land use categories, comparison of housing goals, visual and graphic updates, edits moving forward, and then we have our consultant with us here today, so I would like to introduce her as well. The community engagement process is one of the most important aspects of the document. So there were 2 in-person pop-up planning events and then 2 master plan workshops held in person throughout sort of the early stages of writing this document. Let me find my notes on this. The 2 pop-up planning events held in September and October, they were sort of set up as booths at different festivals. They had activity boards, and citizens were asked to provide feedback on what they love about Manistee, what they would like to see changed. In the end of the master plan, you can see the appendix with all of the details from these events. Then held the master plan workshops, which sort of focused on stakeholders in the community with housing and land use, and then an online and paper copy community survey that went out in terms of, again, what you want to see changed, what are your top priorities, etc. And that had an 80% completion rate, and I think we got like roughly 200 responses. General feedback highlighted increased and more diverse housing options, strategies to attract and retain younger residents, protection of Manistee's small town character and natural assets, and then improvements to infrastructure and public amenities. Okay, gonna highlight the future land use categories. So this chapter is, one of the most important in a master plan is outlining where you see the community going. So I have the 2016 map where we identify, low to medium to high residential, different categories of commercial and business districts, mixed use, we have the wellhead overlay, things that we see today. And then moving into the 2025 plan, we do have those, residential distinctions, and then moving into different types of mixed use, more specific commercial downtown uses, and what that could sort of look like moving forward. A big aspect of the master plan and sort of why we chose to update it in general was to make housing a bigger priority and to align with RRC's new housing requirements in a master plan. So looking at the goals back in 2016, we had support for preservation of historical homes within the city, consideration for senior housing within the city, and then housing space size and rental considerations. 2025, I think that we chose a more grounded and actionable language in identifying these goals. So the city of Manistee will welcome a variety of housing types in inviting accessible and well-maintained neighborhoods, and then ensure residents will have access to safe, affordable, and thoughtfully skilled housing across all income levels and housing types by adopting flexible zoning policies that accommodate growth while preserving neighborhood character. A little wordy, but more action-driven, and then sort of highlighting the zoning aspect, which is ultimately going to reflect what this master plan says moving forward. And then I think the biggest thing you notice when you look at the plan is going to be the visual and graphic updates. And this is really where William Works has the chance to shine. They're very talented in the graphic design aspect. I think that is really reflected in this document. If you do scroll through the 2016 plan, it kind of just reads as one whole page and it's not split up super well. This new plan is a bit longer in page length, but I think that's also just because it split things up in more accessible ways. I think it's more user-friendly, reader-friendly. I have a little graph comparison of how that looks, as well as just some updated imagery from the city. Moving into the edits and review process, we have received edits from city staff as well as council members. Myself and Tanya have gone through those and have, I think, gone through most of the list so far and have either made those edits or made a plan as to how that language could be updated to be more accurate, and we have those recorded. Any remaining edits that we receive will be reviewed and resolved sort of in that same manner as needed. In terms of grammar and spelling, that's something that I think there's sort of a final spell check at the end, so I have those recorded and documented for when that comes to be. And then sort of the point of this 63-day review period is to continue to take edits and to adapt the plan to what we need. And so I think it's important to acknowledge that these edits are made, but we'll continue to take edits, and what we have isn't the final plan until sort of that March, April deadline. With that, I'd like to introduce Tanya de Oliveira. She is our consultant representative with Williams & Works working on this project. She and myself will be taking the edits and moving forward with how to implement those best as we see fit. And we can answer any questions or comments or concerns that you may have.
So I just want to be clear. Edits will be done before it goes to public comment? Is that how the timeline works? I'm not sure I understand that.
So of the edits received, I would say probably half have been made.
So, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I can.
Good evening, I should say. Nice to meet you all. My name is Tanya. And so we can do one of two things. We can make the edits now. That will delay if we put the comments, the edits that need to be put in the plan now based on the ones that we have received to date. That will delay the 63-day process from starting. A lot of times what happens is that the edits that come in, comments, the 60-day free period starts, and we take those over the course of that, because this is a draft. It's not meant necessarily to be complete. We want it to be 95% complete. However, it is council's up to council, it's your discretion. If you'd like to see those edits put in and have a chance to review them, however, that kind of continues to delay the process if we want to move towards adoption. But again, I want to stress it's up to you all. If you'd like to see those edits go in before the plan goes out to the public, for that public 63-day review process, we can do that. It will just push back your adoption timeline half a month or so. Around the holidays, it kind of gets a little bit more tricky and stuff as well. So I'm happy to further discuss that and provide clarity, but that's kind of how I want to respond to your question at this time.
Thanks. I guess, I'm not sure how everybody else feels, but when I looked at, the last few pages, there were like 3 pages of suggested edits or something. I would rather a good product went out to the public than something, because it might be hard to understand if anybody takes the time to review it. Even if it takes a little bit longer, I'd rather present a good product from the get-go. The best we can make it for the public comment period. That's just how I feel.
Questions, Liz?
How have we done this in the past? Does anybody remember, has gone out after edits, before edits, prior?
So it was before my time, but I think the issue is formatting too. It's kind of, there's a lot of graphics in here, so the more you add, the more things change. It's just hours of time, but it's
Only to have to make more edits
in the future.
after the 63 days.
Our intent is that when this goes out, kind of as of tonight, let's say, we want it to be majority done, right? But it kind of, every community is different, every council is different. Most of the time, your 60-day review process is this, through the Michigan Planning Enabling Act. You must have it. You're not only for your public, of course, your residents, but your neighboring, your municipalities, planning commissions, the regional planning commission, MDOT, all those, they must have 63 days. That's just that's what the state law says. A lot of times, you don't hear anything. You may, right? And as Madeline said, that we've had public comments already. She's already collected all those comments, and we've gone through and either made notes to address them or to determine how to do that. So we feel very confident moving forward that it will kind of boil down to not as many as there are in the list, maybe about half of them roughly that need to actually be made. Some of them are just general comments. Some of them are duplicative comments, that kind of thing. So I guess I just want to say, we want to make sure that you guys have a good plan that you're comfortable with that goes out to the public, and I don't know how that kind of resonates for each one of you and you as a council, but it is just something to balance in terms of, and again, we want it to be good, and if it means a couple more weeks, maybe that's not a big deal to y'all, maybe for some of you it is, but I just want to kind of speak to that part of it as well.
Have questions?
Well, I think it's a pretty good document, and I thought I appreciate all the public input and the diversity in the opinions. And I hope that however we get it out there, whether it's the webpage, I would encourage anybody who is a citizen or takes the time to read it. And it's a guide, and we often look at these studies as, it's how we're going to apply for a grant, and it's like back burner. But it should be something that we as a council and as a city review on whether it's annual or biannual. There's so much information in that, and it's a pretty accurate description of our town. And the public input, although they weren't huge in number, they gave some very, very valuable comments that should be used and also listened to. So I hope people read it. I hope that they attend the public hearings. I hope that, people really get into this. It is the guide for our city down the road. And the other question is, who are considered, you call them our city partners? Who would we send this to? Do we know yet?
Yeah, so it goes to consumers and DTE, it goes to Networks Northwest, it goes to, I guess those are the only ones I can think of because they didn't give me their emails yet, and I called them today. It's a list of, I think, 13 or 14. Most of them are communities, so neighboring communities that sort of border us, and then utility partners, Networks Northwest. Is there another?
Well, no, so that group that Madeline is talking about, by state statute, you have to put out this list, and it's all to your adjacent neighboring, the municipalities that border the city as well as the county, and then the public utilities and MDOT, those kind of entities. Other entities, they may be paying attention, maybe they see your public notices, they read the newspaper. So I guess to me it's a fine print. More should know about it, however, through the state statute, there's this list developed, it's called the Notice of Distribution List. So those are the ones that must be notified and will be notified and continue to be notified throughout the sort of beginning, the middle, and eventually the end of this process, that you have a new master plan and whatnot. And other partners, you may think of like your Chamber of Commerce or, any kind of community groups. They may know about it, but they may hear about it in a different way. And I just want to clarify for council's sake, just because I don't want to sort of create any potential confusion because of what we are required to do through the master planning process and through what other people might hear just as a part of being community members or interested parties.
Okay. I got one other question, not put you on the spot, Jerry, so if you can't answer it, it's fine. I believe that we said the total long-term, short-term was 729. I think we had said 157 for short-term. How many long-term rentals do we have in the city? Do you remember? And if you don't, that's okay.
So we have in excess of over 1,000 units total. Units being, it could be an apartment building with 40 or 50. As of right now, I don't have an exact number, but we're over 1,000.
In long-term and short-term, including the city-owned housing units, correct? Okay.
I don't have an exact number.
Okay. And then you mentioned in your master plan, the number of unoccupied. And I think I don't know if that's across Michigan, but it seems unique here that we have a lot of unoccupied houses, like people who've inherited their parents' home and maybe will use it down the road that aren't really registered or used or for Airbnbs, that they just basically, I look in our own neighborhood, I read that and I thought, no. And then when I thought about my own street, 2 blocks, there's 4 unoccupied. One lady's currently in assisted living, another one lives in a different, 2 of them live in different states. So I thought, that's an issue here, is the number of unoccupied homes that just sit vacant. I think that's high. I think that's high here. I mean, 20% is high, 1 out of 5 houses.
And that's from the US Census, just in case anybody's wondering where that data point is from, so.
Okay. Yeah, in Manistee, it seems like a high number. Anyway.
So I
that's all.
guess, are you done?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I'd be kind of ashamed to send that to all these other entities in its current state, to be blunt. Because there's a lot of, if I'm a professional in one of these organizations reading this, I'd wonder, what the heck are they talking about? Because I know X, Y, and Z isn't right. Then,
Is there something in particular?
no.
Do you put a disclaimer on there that it's like not the final, like you have to make edits to that? Do you have that on there?
So when it's listed, like in the letter that goes out, it says it's a draft.
Okay.
And like, I mean, again, like, it is the process that you have to put a draft out.
Right.
Right, so.
We know there's going to be changes.
Yeah, and again, like, I guess if there was something specifically that, like, I could speak to, I'd be happy to, because, we try to do our best. And I will also say, like, this is the point of the process where if there are things that come up, that's the whole point, right? Is like, if we say it's done, the public actually hasn't had a chance to see it yet, and that would be doing them a disservice. So the idea is like, we've done the work, we've listened to you guys, right, we've community input, we've been engaging with city officials, and this is what we think we've heard. Take a chance to read it, please do. We have 63 days, which is a long period of time, and then let us know what you think. Generally, people don't, but the whole point is a draft is to make sure that there isn't, large errors, or that the public, somehow through the process, something was missed. All those kinds of things. So I guess for us, again, like if there's something specific, I would be happily speak to it. But the word draft is meant to say it's not final, so the community has a chance to feel like they still have opportunity for input because they haven't really seen it yet.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, Lainey, I understand that this is something that we're really investing in, and we don't want to put out something that is rough.
Yeah.
But I also feel like us holding on to it, there's 7 of us. I look at Kyle. He has so much understanding of what's going on in our community. And Andrew, I mean, get it to the public where more eyes and more sets of, I would love to see this with the Youth Advisory Council so that they have an opportunity, because what makes sense to the 7 of us may not be what the rest of the public. Do you see what I mean?
I don't think I'm trying to take away from the public comment at all.
Oh,
The product I want to give them, because I think it's valuable, just like you're
Yeah.
saying. The product I want to give them is the one we've all had an opportunity to put comment on. And I would think we would want to present to the other stakeholders and the community the best product we have at this moment. Because it's hard to look at something that isn't, that already shows suggestions for changes not being addressed. And, it might take, even if it takes an extra 30 days, it's a more thorough job, because as you're reading it and you're saying, I finally thought of one example. The social district isn't addressed in the document. So somebody's reviewing it and thinking, well, what happened to the social district? And it might actually, like we already had, is some redundancies and suggestions as well. It would clean some of that up.
I get you.
Yeah, so that's, I'm trying to achieve.
So in your experience, you've obviously done this. What kind of feedback negatively have you gotten by doing it in this rough draft form? I mean, does this typically cause a lot of rift or?
No, and so where it comes from historically in like the planning process, I'm gonna try to keep this brief, but like planning theory, back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, planners were the expert. We would come in, we tell you guys how it would be done. The public, no, we know what's best.
Too bad.
Over time, the profession has wisened up and said, actually, it's also because the public has had a lot of outcry. Residents know just as much, they might know different things than, planning professionals, but they know other things that's just as valuable and important. So, I've been doing planning almost 20 years, and I have not had a time where at the draft point of the process, there's been consternation. Usually what happens is that gets brought up kind of before this time, and so as the consultant working with staff and then with the public, kind of, and with the steering committee, in this case it is the planning commission, it would be kind of brought up and addressed through that. It would have been explored and realized perhaps at the beginning or the outset of the process before it began, addressed in the way that the public engagement, like the questions that we provided or the process that unfolded, kind of trying to give daylight to those kinds of things, and then having the goals written to address those kinds of issues. And I mean, like when I started the planning process with the planning commission at the first meeting, I come in and say, well, what are the issues? What is particularly happening in the city of Manistee? I mean, I can have a general sense, because I do work across Michigan and West Michigan, but like, what's really happening in the city? So we try to address the issues before. So I don't expect much to change, if anything. I say that just based on experience, and I don't want to say that in the perspective
Sure.
of like, I don't
It
want
won't
anything to change.
happen,
Right.
right.
And I don't want to squash or quash that, right? But generally at this point, there's not a lot that comes up.
Okay.
So just to kind of speak to your question.
Okay, thank you.
Does anybody else have anything? No? Laura, would you please take roll?
Councilmember Raddatz,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Lasky,
Yes.
Mayor Sullivan, Councilmember Keck,
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski,
Yes.
Councilmember Ruzga.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Thank you. The annual report from Mr. Noah Camera, Music Sparks Meeting.
Down is forward.
No camera, hello everybody.
You will.
I just really want to quickly talk about organization. I mean, I don't think I've ever done a formal presentation to you guys about what we do, so I'm going to talk about what we do, what we've done, where we're at, where we're going, kind of based on this last year. So, see up behind, you guys probably haven't even years yet.
Not seeing the presentation button. Okay, there we go.
Full screen or down.
Okay. Thanks, sorry about that.
That's all right. So basically, what we do, we formed in 2023, I believe, or 2022, late 2022. Our goal is to just help people find meaning and passion and purpose for music. So we've done a lot of like free concerts. We did the Summer Sunsets the first year. We took over Roots of the River from the JCs. We also kind of expanded into more educational programming. So we've been going directly to schools with professional musicians, music educators, and doing workshops, doing lessons, very interactive things. And this last year, we kind of really leaned into that educational program and kind of tried a few different things. We did a summer camp at LACA. We did with the Manistee, did something with I guess it was last year with Henry Mack. But yeah, so kind of some overall stats on the thing there.
Keep
This
going.
page, if you want to look at your own after, I won't go through it all now, but it kind of just shows a few case studies on why these types of programs and why this, organization is important, the longstanding effects of, what music does in communities, especially free concert series, mental health, all sorts of things. I mean, there's countless, research and benefits of these type of things, and we just want to, make sure we're bringing that to Manistee, and obviously all of us, Michigan is our goal, but we'll start with Manistee. So yeah, this past year, we really leaned into the Crescendo Youth Outreach Initiative, which is our music in schools programming. We found another educator. We have 4 people on board right now that are volunteering their time and also doing some paid workshops. We did one big one at Laka. We did 2 summer camps this past year. We had, I think, 30-some kids, there's some stats in there, I don't know off the top of my head, but 30-some kids sign up, and we did ukulele lessons for ages, I think like 5 to 12, and then we did a songwriting workshop with one of our board members that age, like 12 to 14 or 15 or something. And with decent attendance, I mean, the stats are all in there. They really loved it. We like working with Laka. So, I mean, using this kind of as an example of how we want to move forward with the organization is, working more as a, what's the word, add-on or whatever programming, where we kind of come in a place that already have, people and facilities, and we kind of just go in and do our thing and serve their audience. And we find more value and they kind of easy for our operations to keep doing that way. So, that was Crescendo. Roots on the River, you guys know it, I'm sure by now. It's been around for, 25, 26 years. 2 years ago, the JCs passed it on to us, and we've kind of been rolling with it. We had a really good turnout last year. We had, I believe, 5 or 6 concerts. And we also had a 4th of July event that we did the last 2 years. We had alcohol sales, we had lawn games, and, music all day. We did decide, unfortunately, that was not financially feasible to continue in the future, just because of the turnout and because of the lack of, sales and things like this. It's hard to make these, they're free concerts, so it's hard to make them break even, and we can be responsible as an organization to continue, make sure we can keep the series going. So just kind of looking at everything at a, no ego view, and just say, hey, what works, what's not working, where we need to tweak, and just kind of pivoting as things come and challenges arise, and just trying to be responsible in that sense. So overall, we were very happy with Roots on the River. Great bands, everyone loved it, so we definitely want to keep it going. A quick letter that's just me basically saying what I'm saying now, talking about our challenges and kind of where we're going. We did work with Brad Coulter, Community Foundation, set us up with Rotary Charities, and we've been talking with Brad. He's a Petoskey consultant advisor, does a lot of nonprofit stuff, and he's been kind of guiding us and through our challenges, mostly financial, membership, things like that, just where we can improve. And we've got a lot of good ideas that we've been working this past 2 or 3 months, and really we're at a pivotal point in our organization as we continue to grow into 2026, 2027, and looking for ways to find funding, membership, all these different ideas that are going to keep us going. So very excited for the future on that. So finances, pretty straightforward. I mean, we talked to the Community Foundation as well a couple weeks ago, and they were very impressed with how low we are able to keep our operating expenses. What we do, I mean, we have board members that contribute a lot of time, volunteers. I mean, all of our supplies, we just kind of make happen. It's definitely been more than we should at times, so we're trying to make it stand on its own a little bit more. But again, I mean, accomplishing what we accomplished with less than $10,000 a year is I feel like pretty remarkable, and I'm very proud of our team for what they're able to do, bring their skills to the table, volunteer their time. I'm very grateful for everyone that we have. We have 6 people on our board that do great work all year to make this happen. So, yeah, thank you guys. I mean, you guys have been great since the very beginning. Like every time we come up and do something, you're very on top of making sure you can go through and support us. So thank you guys. I mean, a lot of sponsors and donors and stuff too. I mean, a lot of nonprofits are having a very hard few years with the economy in general, and just lack of sponsors, donors, donor fatigue. It's all very real, and we're feeling it too. But we are still committed to making it happen. We have a lot of people that believe in us, and we're excited to keep doing it. So thank you guys. Any questions?
Thank you.
Do you have a board? Sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you first.
Do you have a board?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 4 board members, and we have 3 other people that are like I don't know what you call them, but they just do stuff volunteer for us. So.
And you're not your own 501c3, you run it through the foundation, is that correct?
No, we are. We're our
You
own
are,
501.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Established 3 years ago. We've been doing everything on our own.
Yeah. I don't want to speak for the entire council, but I think you could be a lot more impactful if you played the ukulele for us next time.
Just throwing that out there.
Or Dad.
Thank you.
Thank you, Noah.
Thank you.
Oh,
Good program.
Lainey, did you have something?
It's okay.
Oh,
Well, I was just curious, how did you get inspired and started in this? Because it's like, I've heard this term, you know, and I know I just met you a couple weeks ago, but just surprising, you know.
Why
You're
would you?
doing so well. It's appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, when I was young, I mean, we went to Richmond River. When I was a kid, I mean, I remember seeing the Reichbergs, some of the bands we work with, and book now that I have a relationship with. I remember going and seeing them and just sitting out there and just, I don't know, I've had, you know, lucky enough to have a life in music. I've toured the country, and it's brought a lot of opportunities for me personally. And our board too, and we all see that, like, we've seen the impact it's had in our lives, and even if it's not in music, it's in business or whatever, I mean, just the opportunities we've had because of it, we just see that and want to give that back and try to make that keep happening, so that's really what it's all about. We just enjoy it, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, thanks.
Citizen comment. This is an opportunity for citizens in attendance to comment on municipal services, activities, or areas of city involvement, limited to 5 minutes. Letters submitted to council will not be publicly read. Okay. Mr. Gamble.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to mention, as we close out the year, I'd like to thank City Council, city employees, contractors, and our partners for their hard work and dedication. Together, we accomplished several significant accomplishments, including the adoption of short-term rental ordinance, implementation of curbside recycling, paving Washington Street, and updates to the fire station and Riverwalk, to name a few. So as we look forward, I look forward to building on this momentum and serving our residents and businesses in the year ahead, and wish everyone a happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Rosca.
Because of things like recent inquiries regarding sidewalks, either plowing or repairs, wonder if it's a good time to maybe do some kind of notice for the News Advocate that would outline what the responsibilities are. Because it seems like between snow plowing and repairs, people have misconceptions. It might save us some work in the long term. Can I have an update on the Sands Park ice rink? I know, you know, the liner, yeah, I don't know if there's a hole in it, but I kind of like to hear where we're at.
We've snow blowed it, prepped the area, we put the boards up in November.
Yeah.
And then usually after sleigh bell, we look for a little opportunity with the weather, but we need a little time to get all the snow out of it, so the liner, God permitting, we're gonna put the liner in tomorrow.
Okay, great.
We also had some damaged boards that they just came in yesterday, so it's all a little time.
I did hear compliments from there, so good job for staying on top of it.
And then I'm wondering if there's an update on the Manistee Elementary traffic study. Have we heard anything?
We talked about it this week. I think we're looking at the springtime. Obviously, the weather, I don't know that we're going to get good data on walking to school at this time of year. I think we originally were thinking maybe we'd start at November. All of a sudden, then the weather just changed pretty quick, and that's where we're at. So, yeah, springtime.
Good enough. And
Lanny, I'd like to, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Just understanding that the Jefferson site will change and be going out to the new early childhood center will also change the traffic patterns as parents are picking up youngers and olders and everything else. So it makes more sense to, keep that in mind before the traffic study goes out.
All right. And then I guess, like Bill said, Merry Christmas and see y'all next year.
Mr. Grabowski.
Okay, Bill, I know we can't do anything the rest of this year, but is a public television going to start pretty soon, or aren't we getting into it, or what's going on? People are asking me.
Let me talk to the PEG Commission. I don't have something today, but I can look into that.
To ask him, so I thought maybe you'd have something.
And Tom's our liaison, Chief Herndon's our liaison on that, so I can ask him for an update.
Okay, and then someday down the road, are we going to do the click and fix so people know how to do it?
Yes, yeah, I'm thinking the July study session, or I'm sorry, January study session.
Good, thank you.
Okay. I guess just the same to follow up after Bill. It's been a great year so far. I've enjoyed every minute of this so far. And again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you next time.
Ms. Raditz.
I just want to give a shout out. So much work went into Sleigh Bell Weekend and after Sleigh Bell Weekend. Certainly Chief and Mr. McCullough, hats off to keeping our community safe and focused on the enjoyment of the season. So thank you so much.
Smith.
Yeah, same thing. Merry Christmas. It was great to see all of our law enforcement and public safety, the partners out there, Coast Guard. You're used to seeing them in boats. I still, them in their dress blues, okay, who's that? So, but no, great relationships. Good job, everybody. And yeah, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Christmas.
Ms. Lasky.
Same thing, but I think for next year, a couple of goals. So time of year, you set some goals. One would be, and the right word isn't collaboration, because I think we do collaborate, but more overlap. And there was a meeting last week with the EDO and the Planning Commission and the City Council, and I think we have to have more of those. I think there's a little disconnect in some ways between our own commissions that we have within the city, and those people work very hard, but we don't always know what they're doing, and they're recommending bodies. We hear from them in an annual report, but I just wish there'd be more communication and probably more involvement definitely, I think, moving with the county. I think that, we're all part of the same, and a lot of our goals are somewhat the same. I'd like to see more overlap with the county and also with our City Housing Commission. It seems like I'd go to their stuff, and it just almost seems like they're our standalone almost. They're doing much better than they were, but I still think it's part of our city, and we need to just be a little bit more all work together for 2026. That's it.
Thanks. Okay, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a New Year, and motion to adjourn.
The motion.
I'm